All right, so now we're going to solve multi-step equations. You already solved one-step equations, and then you solved two-step equations. And multi-step equations means either you will be combining like terms before you start to solve by moving things across the equal sign, or you'll be doing a distribution. So let's do the combine like terms one first. In this case, and I'm going to draw a line down the equal sign just to be clear, you can do it or not do it, it's up to you. Before I start moving things around, before I start transposing, like you might feel like, oh, I need to get that 7 over there and do that. That in this case, you would end up in the same place at the end, but algebra is all about following a certain order of operations. And so we want to actually work in the order that's prescribed by algebra while we're learning the process. So before you start moving things across the line, you want to make sure that you have fully simplified both sides of the equation first. And in this case, simplify means, let's write it down, right? The order of operations working downward. And so if I follow the order of operations, I see that I can add these two x terms together. That's combining like terms. So let's do that first. 9x plus 1x equals 10x minus 7 equals 13. And now I'm out of order of operations, so now I can start to move things across to the other side of the equal sign. Let me put that x in there. So I'm going to transpose my 7, right? A negative 7, if I add the opposite to both sides, I'm going to have a plus 7 over here, and now I can simplify. 13 plus 7 equals 20, and this is a two-step after we do the combined like terms. I have a 10 in the way of the x, so it's a multiplied 10. I'm going to turn it into a divided 10, and now I can simplify. X equals 20 divided by 10 is 2. And you should check your answers. So I have 9 times 2 plus 2 minus 7 equals 13. And because I'm checking, I don't really know if that's true. 9 times 2 is 18 plus 2 minus 7 equals 13. 18 plus 2, well, I'll write it all out, is 20 minus 7 equals 13, and 20 minus 7 is indeed 13. So 13 equals 13, I got the right answer. All right, solve to the right answer. So let's do the other one and do exactly the same thing. Again, order of operations, there are no parentheses. Well, there's a paren, but there's nothing I can do inside the parenthesis to simplify. No exponents, I have multiplication and division. So the first thing I come across is this is a multiplication. Remember, distribution is the same thing as multiplication for polynomials. So I'm going to multiply this single term 7, a constant 7, into a two-term number binomial x minus 2. So first I'm going to multiply 7 by the first term, and remember the sign matters. So this is a negative 7 times a positive x, so negative and a positive is a negative. 7 times, there's a 1 out front. 7 times 1 is 7, and then x times, there's another 1 here, is an x. So I finished that part. Now I go to the second term. Negative and a negative is a positive. 7 times 2 is 14, and I don't have any variables to work with. So I've now finished this whole thing, and I can just bring my other terms straight down. Everything else just comes straight down. Now, I've done my multiplication division, but have I done addition subtraction, or is there any I can do? I look over here and I see indeed, again, just like over here, I have like terms that can be combined. 4 minus 7 is negative 3. So I have negative 3 x's plus 14 equals 26. Now I've gone completely through PEMDAS. I'm going to solve. So I want to transpose. I have a 14 in the way and a negative 3 in the way of the x being by itself. I have to decide which way to move first by using PEMDAS up. Starting at the bottom of PEMDAS says that I want to do the addition subtraction before I do the multiplication division. So 14 is added to the x. I'm going to turn it into a negative 14 on the opposite side and then simplify. Negative 3x equals 26, take away 14 is 16, take away 4 is 12. Okay, and now I have a negative 3 that's multiplied to x, so I'm going to convert it to a divided 3. And I have x equals a positive and a negative makes a negative. 12 divided by 3 is 4. So let's check it. I think I'll check it in this direction because I'm running out of space. So the original problem, 4 times 4 minus 7 times 4 minus 2 equals 26. I'm not sure. 4 times 4 is 16 minus, oh wait, I'm not working in the right order. Oh yep, nope, I have to do the parentheses first. 4 times 4 minus 7, 4 minus 2 is 2. Does that equal 26? 4 times 4 is 16 minus 7 times 2 is 14 equals 26. And 16 take away 14. Whoa, what did I do? It's a negative 4. Negative 4, a negative 4. So this is negative 6, negative 4. So that's a negative 16. A negative 7 times negative 6 is a positive 42 equal 26. So 42 take away 16 would be 32. Take away 6 would be 26. 26 equals 26. So I got the right answer even though I almost got the wrong checking. Let's do one more. It's a little bit tricky. And then I'll let you practice some of your own. So solve 3/5 times 2x, the quantity 2x minus 4, equals 18. So I know most of us just saw me write this fraction and had a little bit of a heart attack, but you just have to deal with it. You have to just go with it and trust that if you go step by step, the solution will reveal itself in the proper way. So let's go step by step. First thing, I have to, before I start moving things across the equal sign, I need to simplify both sides. Well, 18 is already simple. So I want to distribute my 3/5. So 3/5 times 2x, rather than taking time to worry about it, let's just write that down. 3/5 times 2x, and of course 2x would be over 1, minus 3/5 times 4. 3/5 times 4 equals 18. Still simplifying, 3 times 2x is 6x, 5 times 1 is 5, minus 3 times 4 is 12, and 5 times 1 is 5. Now I have equals 18. Now I can start to add and subtract things to both sides. So I can transpose negative 12/5 into a positive 12/5. Now I have to find a common denominator. 18 times 5. And that's 18 times 5. 5 times 8 is 40. Carry the 4. 5 times 1 is 5. Plus 4 is 9. So 18 times 5 equals 90 over 5. So that's 6x divided by 5 equals 90 plus 12, 102 over 5. Now I'm going to multiply both sides by the reciprocal of 6/5. Oh, that worked out handy because I can cancel the 5s, and I'm betting I can cancel at least a 2 because they're both even numbers. So if I divide 6 by 2, I get a 3. If I divide 102 by 2, I get a 51. And then 51 divides by 3, leaving 17. So I actually have an answer now, x equals 17. So that got kind of ugly. But if I keep my head about me and follow each step piece by piece without trying to skip anything, I can get to the correct ending pretty safely. Now, there's another way to solve a problem like this. Some of you may have already seen it. It's a special case. I wanted to show you that Even when a problem is ugly, it doesn't mean you can't get there, but I will show you a shortcut. If you remember the shortcut, you can use it. If you remember it and see it and apply it correctly. If you don't remember the shortcut, that's okay. Eventually you will. You won't always go the longest possible way. But it's handy to know if there's a shortcut. It's also handy to know how to solve a problem well. So let's look at the shortcut. 3/5 times 2x minus 4 equals 18. So in this case, I'm looking at only factors. Notice that first thing I did was I multiplied 3/5, and then when I got down here, I canceled a 5 and I canceled a 3. I got rid of 3/5 down here. So we can take advantage of the fact that multiply and then divide is really just the same operation. They undo each other. And notice that if it's a factor, I can do that part first. So I can transpose my 3/5 into 5/3 right away, which is really the same thing as writing 18 over 3/5, which is the same thing as 18 times 5/3. So I'm multiplying by the reciprocal in this case. And what I've done is I've saved myself a whole bunch of work. Now, doesn't mean I can't do the work over here just fine. It just means that I saw a way to save myself some effort. In fact, there's a little bit more saving I can do here because I can divide 3 by 3, leaving a 1, and I can divide 18 by 3, leaving 6. So this whole thing, this whole line on the right-hand side becomes 6 times 5, which is 30. Now, add 4 to both sides. So I have 2x equals 34, and now divide both sides by 2. Whoops, I did that in the wrong place, didn't I? Divide both sides by 2, and I get x equals 16. Hey, that's not right. X equals 17. And that's exactly the same answer I got when I did it the long way. So this is a shortcut. Perfectly great as long as you use it correctly and in the right times. And this is the longer way, which is perfectly great as well. So to recap, solving multi-step equations means adding either distribution or combine like terms or distribution before you go through and do exactly what we've been doing already.